guys, how's it going? Today I am excited because I am planting up my first spring containers of the season, and I have just been itching to get something in these containers again and just get some life and some color back here on the porch. So I went down to my local garden center and I started looking for some plants that I knew would be able to still survive some frost if we have it, which we will. It's still middle to beginning of March, and I know here in Pennsylvania we will still have frost. We could still have a pretty hard frost actually, and if we do have a really tough frost, I will come out and cover these just to protect them a little bit. I know it won't kill them, these plants that I have selected, but it could damage them a little bit and cause them to not look so great. If we have like just a normal light frost around 30 or so, 32, 30, not going too much lower than that, they'll be fine. They'll totally be fine. And I wanted to show you these plants because these are the plants that we can plant at this time right now, and they are going to be fine. So here we have some pansies. These are an absolute amazing plant to have in the spring and in the fall. They actually love the cooler temperatures. They do not like the hot, humid temperatures of summer. They actually fizzle out during the hot parts of our season. So during the cooler months, this is when you want to be planting these. Also, some other varieties that I don't have right now are some primrose, some violas, things like that. They also love the cooler temperatures, and they'll do great this time of year for you. Next, we have some Hellabors. Okay, so this first one that I have here is called True Love Wedding Party Series. And let me just show you these blooms. Aren't they beautiful? They have such beautiful structure and coloring. That bright yellowy green in the center really pops. And then the second kind I have over here is rosemary. So beautiful, beautiful. Let me show you one of these. Well, there's one turned up right there. Aren't they gorgeous? So hellebores are one of those flowers that I've been wanting to get in my garden for a couple of years now, and finally just pulled the trigger and decided to get some. Hellebores are amazing because these are one of the first blooming plants that you have in your garden. They love the cold weather. They love to start coming up and blooming when we're starting to crave seeing something happening outside. That's when they're coming up. Right now they're starting to come up and bloom, which is incredible because a lot of things are still completely dead and you don't even know it's underground. So I am going to be using these in our container today, but then the beauty of these are they are perennial. And so after I'm done with them in the spring container and I switch this over to a summer container, I will dig these out of this container and I'll pop them somewhere in my landscape. So I love doing that with plants because it gives you double duty with your plantings. You get to use them in a container and you get to enjoy them in your landscape after that. Now, I would love to use both of these hellebores in this container right here. I'm not sure they're both going to fit with the pansies, but we're going to give it a try, and if they both don't work out, then I'll just use one. I think I'm going to use this bigger one if they both don't fit, but I'm just going to see how it goes, and I'll show you what it looks like in the end. Isn't that so sweet? Look at those sweet little blooms. I love it. I love having some color back up here on the porch and having some beautiful flowers up here again. Can't wait for summer. So these are the plants that I have left over, and I have at least one more container that I know for sure I'm going to use these pansies in, and I might pot this one up in a different container. So we'll see. Okay, so I have my pansies down here in front, and we have moved to, we have moved out here in front of my garage to this container that I have a Blue Point juniper planted in. I've had this in here for, I think, going on 3 seasons, I think, and he's doing great. I don't know, I might take him out next season. We might give him a little more space and let him grow onto his full size next year. We'll see. But he's doing great in here. He loves the pot so far, so I'm gonna leave him in here this year. He still seems really happy. And right now we're just going to plant up around the base of this tree some of these sweet little pansies, just to bring a little bit of spring color. Now, before I do that, I want to make sure that the soil is nice and recharged for this growing season. So anytime I plant anything new in these containers, I either like to change out the soil or add some plant tone. Sometimes I do both, to be honest with you. I want to give my plants the best possible start and make sure that they have as much energy and as much nutrients as they need to grow big and beautiful. So because this pot here has a big tree in it, I'm not going to be dumping this container out and changing the soil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a good helping of some of this plant tone around the base of this container, and this will help the tree. It'll fertilize the tree and it'll fertilize my annuals that I put in here. So we're just going to scratch that into the top couple layers of this soil. As this pot gets watered and stuff, the fertilizer will make its way down to the tree roots at the bottom of this container as well. And I'm going to add just a little bit more soil to the top of this container, some new soil, just because it's looking a little low and I don't want my pansies sitting too far down in. I want you to be able to see them. So I'm just going to top this off with a little extra soil, and that of course will add some more nutrients as well. That's one thing you can do with your containers that have bigger trees or shrubs in them. You can take off the first couple inches of soil, old soil, and you can replace that with new soil. If you want to do it that way too, you can do that, and that will help recharge it. Put some compost in there. That would be awesome. The tree would absolutely love that, or bush, whatever it is. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So I'm gonna get these pansies in here and we'll see how it looks when it's all done. Okay, so here it is all potted up. It's kind of hard to see in this bright sun, but I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a closer look. I think it's going to be a nice bright pop of color right there coming out of that sweet little container. Okay, so I still have some pansies left, and I have that other hellebore that I wasn't able to fit inside that other container. So I think I'm going to pot up this other one that I have sitting up right here. I might as well, right? So this little container behind me, he's not looking so good, but I do want to show you guys something, and this will give a testament to pansies and just how tough they are. Okay, so these plants right here that we can kind of see are still green and happy. There's some dead in there I'm going to come in and clean out and cut off, but these are pansies that I planted last fall. Over here is a mum, which I'm going to dig out and plant in the landscape, and then here I have an ornamental cabbage, which he's done. He's dead. We're going to take him out. But I'm actually going to leave these pansies in here. I'm just going to clean them up a little bit because these guys are going to start blooming again all by themselves. Now that's just a testament of how amazing pansies are. These flowers that I put in here last fall have gone through feet of snow this year and have withstood extremely cold temperatures. I'm not sure what our coldest night was, but definitely down into the teens. And so it was extremely cold, lots of snow, lots of precipitation, lots of wind, and they're still fine. They haven't bloomed yet again this year, but they're still alive. And so that's what I'm saying about like these cold, tolerant plants that normally we think we have to wait till May or at least later in April to plant them. Like pansies and primrose and things like that, they actually thrive on the cold. They do well in the cold, and they actually won't die over winter most of the time. Now sometimes you'll have an extremely cold snap that'll take them, but here in my zone 6, they just winter over. So I would encourage you guys, if nothing else out of this, try planting some things that you maybe normally wouldn't, or try planting it a little bit earlier or something like that, and you really get to enjoy more of the seasons of the garden when you get to be out here, when you're itching to plant something but it feels like it's too early. There are plants that can take it and that can do well with it. So let's get this pot planted up. Okay, so here is our third container all potted up. I ended up pulling out all of the old pansies. They're laying right there. I'm going to clean them up and pot them up in this pot I have sitting right here and put them on my back porch so I could enjoy their blooms. But I couldn't remember what all colors those were, so I thought I would just start out fresh because I know these are nice spring colors. And we got our beautiful hellebores. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to get these little pansies that I pulled out, potted up into a new pot. They will come back and they will rebloom. So there's already new growth on them. If I get them potted up and put somewhere where they'll be happy, I will be able to enjoy blooms off of these this spring. And then also I am going to find a home for my mom here. So I need to find a place for that in the landscape. And that's all I'm going to do today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, getting to see the first of some spring color here at my house, and we'll see you in the next one.